Red umbrella. One day, I was returning home from school with my younger sister, Chiemi. We suddenly ran into each other on the first floor by the shoeboxes. "You're late today," I said, and Chiemi laughed. "I was drawing a picture for sports day." She probably wasn't able to get it done in time, so she stayed back after school to do it. When we went outside, a light rain was falling. "Ah, the weather forecast was right," I said, taking out my red umbrella. "Right on the money." Chiemi also took out her red umbrella. When we left the house that morning, our mother handed us 2 umbrellas. "Take these with you. The weather forecast said it's going to rain this afternoon." "Rain in the afternoon? Boo!" "Rain in the afternoon? Boo!" Us sisters sulked. But lucky we took the umbrellas. Even a light rain on a cold day like this was awful. As we started to make our way towards the gate, I suddenly stopped in my tracks. That person was there. A woman in a white dress standing in the middle of the school grounds. She was around 17 or 18, somewhere around high school age. And she just stood in the middle of the empty school grounds in the rain getting wet. Yeah, that person. That day alone, I'd already seen her 4 or 5 times around the school. Every single time she was looking here and there, walking around like she was out of breath. As she walked around the school, she looked terribly happy about it. That was why I knew she was a graduate of this school. "Hey, sis," Chiemi said next to me. "Let's quickly go home." Under my umbrella, I pointed. "Hey, that girl is wet, so let's give her an umbrella." "But what about you?" "You have an umbrella, so we can share it, yeah?" Sure, that's fine." And so the 2 of us ran. Her pale face turned at the sound of our footsteps, and nervously I said, "Please use this umbrella. I'll use my sister's." Her face reddened with relief. "Thanks," she said, and then asked in a gentle voice, "Where do you live?" Chiemi answered next to me. "In Kayode Town, 19. "I see. Kayode Town, 19. What's your name?" "Yamazaki Chiemi, and this is my older sister, Yamazaki Ayako." "I see. Ayako-chan and Chiemi-chan. Thanks. Let me borrow this umbrella for just a short while then." She looked so happy that I felt glad. But Chiemi said something strangely as we walked home under the one umbrella. "Was that girl wet?" "It was raining, so of course she was," I answered. But then it hit me. She actually didn't look wet at all. After that, I started using an old blue umbrella. I always liked that blue umbrella, so I didn't worry about the red one. There are times where you can't change something even if you want to, right? My mother said to me. On the afternoon of the 2nd day of winter holidays, the doorbell rang, and my mother yelled to me from the kitchen. "Aya-chan, can you get that for me?" "Okay." When I opened the front door, a woman I didn't know was standing there. She wore black clothes, and in her hand she was holding a red umbrella. She looked relieved when she saw me, and then she asked me a question. "Are you Yamazaki Ayako-chan?" I nodded. "And your younger sister is Yamazaki Chiemi-chan?" I nodded again. Then she blinked a few times and whispered, "Ah, so you really do exist. Chiemi-chan too. This umbrella is yours, yes? You lent it to my daughter, right?" As I stood there, confused, my mother and Chiemi appeared. The woman in black greeted them both and said she had come from Shizuoka to return the umbrella. "Oh, did you take the bullet train?" my mother asked. "Yes, I'm sorry it took so long to bring this back, but, you see, the day after you gave my daughter this umbrella, she passed away." "Eh?" my mother said. I looked down at the ground. She passed away? In my mind, I saw her standing in the rain dressed in white again. When she was in elementary school, she was a healthy child who never even caught a cold. But in junior high, we moved to Shizuoka, and then she fell ill. There was something wrong with her spinal cord. I finally looked up. After that, she was in and out of hospital, and then this spring, she was no longer able to get out of bed. She couldn't get out of bed? My chest felt like it was tightening. I realized my knees were also trembling. That day, yes, that day she took some painkillers and slept well. When she woke up, she happily said she had visited Kaede Elementary. She said the classrooms, the halls, even the school grounds hadn't changed a bit. And then she laughed to herself for the first time in a long while and said, "As I was standing on the school grounds in the rain, looking at the school building, some students ran up and gave me a red umbrella. I was so happy I accidentally brought it back with me. It was Yamazaki Ayako from Kaede Town, 19. She had a cute younger sister called Chiemi-chan too. Mum, please return their umbrella. And when you do, please thank them properly for me." I was happy she had such a nice dream and said that I would. 2 days after that, when I took my now cold daughter home from the hospital, I was surprised. By the front door, there was a red umbrella I'd never seen before. Panicking, I opened it and inside there was a name written on it. Kaede Elementary, Yamazaki Ayako. But I still didn't believe it. We held her funeral, 49 days passed, and now here I am, finally meeting Ayako-chan and Chiemi-chan. And then the woman fell silent. I could hear a train in the distance. Then the woman spoke again, as though forcing each word out. And now, here I am, finally meeting Ayako-chan and Chiemi-chan. I understand what she said well now. How happy she must have been. Numerous words swirled around inside me like a silver whirlpool, but not a single one would come out. But I could hear that clear, gentle voice of hers as she stood before us like a white flower opening up. "I see. Ayako-chan and Chiemi-chan. Thanks. Let me borrow this umbrella for just a short while then."